We go set. Everybody can hear us? Oh,
Yeah, they
No,
Tyler, can you hear us?
Yeah, they're.
You muted, maybe muted?
No,
Okay.
when you mute, you can't.
We can hear you.
Thank you.
Very good. All right, thank you, everybody, for attending. So I'm going to call the meeting of the Public Site and Building Commission to order, and let's all stand and have the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Your chair.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just don't pull it out. Okay, thank you. Next item on the regular meeting agenda, any public input? And the answer is no. Any additional correspondence? The answer is no. Okay. And I need to have a motion for the approval of the meeting minutes of the regular meeting of August 27th, 2025. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Okay, seconded?
Second.
Okay, any discussion, any errors, any other comments for those meeting minutes?
Nope.
Okay, let's have a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, passed, approved. Okay, so before we start on the regular agenda, I had some new business. Dan Carter sent out.
You're gonna make a motion to put it on the agenda.
Sorry.
So
Okay,
I'll make a motion that we add under new business, discussion of Public Site and Building Commission in the charter.
Second.
Tom seconds. You have to vote on it.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, no opposed. Okay. So the new
Very
business.
brief.
Right, so the new business was, Dan Carter sent out an email and just asked part of the town charter revision and review. He asked our commission to review chapter 20 of the Public Site and Building Commission of the town charter to see if there's any corrections or adds or anything. So this is new. I'm going to table it until the next meeting. So I'm asking the commission to please take a look at the chapter 20 and see if there's any comments on that. Especially, I just want to make when I reviewed it earlier, there's terms of different commissions, how many years that you're appointed. You should really check on how many years that each person was appointed to. That's one thing that jumped out at me. Okay, so that ends the new business.
I'll just say that, since I was on the email too, I asked Dan if there was any sort of time frame
Okay,
on when he needed to know if we make any suggestions for either updates or changes, and I didn't get anything back yet. So, and if we could email, everybody wasn't on the email, I think. Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, everybody
All
got it?
right, so
Okay.
then you have that part of the charter, so if you can take a look at it, we can keep it on the agenda for the next meeting. If anybody has any input, changes, etc., we'll bring that to the next meeting and then we can give it to them. I just know there's a couple of, I don't know, maybe just some updates as far as how things are worded, because the Public Site and Building Commission was formed by an ordinance or I think it's an ordinance, but it was not in the charter. It was just formed by ordinance.
Oh, okay.
Then it was put in the charter in way back, like maybe charter revision 2016, 2015, maybe even before that. And so the language that's in here may need to be updated to be more pertinent and realistic. So that's kind of what they're looking for, I think.
Okay, well, thank you. If anybody has any comments, you can either bring it to our attention, to everybody's in an email, or we can discuss it at the next meeting. So, okay. So In the old business, we have, the first one is the Bethel High School HVAC upgrade project. And I know that Rick is away and, Geraldine High is going to take his place and kind of brief us on status of what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Apologies for my voice. I'm in the middle of a cold. And I am monitoring the project in Rick's absence. He'll be back September 21st or 22nd, sometime around there. So we did distribute an updated schedule from the contractor. This schedule incorporates the current delay in receiving the electrical panels, which is why the end date, the completion dates have been pushed out. The schedule also incorporates the date approved by the school for the additional abatement work. That'll be September 19th, starting after school on that Friday. And we also have a selection by the district of September 20th to have the equipment moved to the roof along with some additional steel that they'll be working with up on the roof. Save More does not have a confirmation back from their subs on that yet, but they acknowledge that that is the date that they are working towards because that works best for the district. If there are questions on the schedule, happy to try and answer them or find the answer for you. There is no change to the budget. Last month or last meeting, you approved a credit change order, which brings the contingency back up to $110,000, which is great. And as far as I have heard from Rick or from Save More, there's no anticipation at this point of any additional change orders. So good, that's good for the budget. The only other thing outstanding is we are waiting for SES to provide us with a schedule for their final commissioning work. We had a little discussion with them this week about when that might happen. They want Save More and their subs to be 100% complete. That includes all the installation work, their own functional testing, any punch list work, and all testing and balancing work before SES will come in and do their final commissioning work. So we'll be developing that schedule with them. And we'll let you know when we have further information from SES on that work. But at this point, it's looking like it's end of October into the beginning of November.
So I'm not remembering if SES also has a either seasonal or another 6 months out check that they'll do with commissioning, or this is just get things going, make sure everything's running properly and they're done.
I will check their contract in the RFP. Typically, the commissioning agent would come back 6 months, 10 months, or after the next seasonal change over of equipment to make sure, in this case, that next summer the air conditioning works, you know?
Yep.
But I'll check on that with, and have Rick report on that at the next meeting.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so that's the project, the budget you went over. So I have 3 invoices. Did you?
I haven't see if there's any other questions.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So did you have to be a part of an OAC meeting with Save More, or is that not happening while Rick's away?
I don't think that there is a meeting this week.
Okay. Yeah,
Because no one let me know, but I'm going to be checking in with, so Jason's away this week as well. The Save More Vice President, Project Manager.
Right.
I'll be checking in with Joey on the ground there the rest of this week, and then we'll see if there is a meeting next week. But that's probably why there was no OAC meeting this week, is because many people, or at least 2, were on vacation. But I'll keep up on them.
There's one on the calendar for next week. I'll invite you to it.
Okay. Good. That would be great.
And the OAC, Mr. Simpson.
Owner, architect, contractor.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I just want to keep checking in with, I just want whoever to keep checking in with Save More about schedule, because I don't really want it pushed back. We don't want it pushed back anymore, because that's going to put us into some deep. And if September 20th is going to work for the schools and for Save More, I really hope that that can get done, because we can't really push it back anymore.
Correct. I mean, the intent is that they will continue with all of the work as it was scheduled And then as soon as those electrical panels come in, they can, because that's really what's driving the end of the schedule at this point. That installation will take place, and then all the finish work around those panels will take place. But there's no slowdown on everything else waiting for the panels.
And there's nothing going on at the school the 20th, I guess, when that's still going on.
I thought Chris Troietti had said in an email the 20th works, but then I don't know what happened after that.
He did. And we're clear to do it.
Okay.
So it's definitely the 20th?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, assuming
Yeah.
Save will be ready.
Exactly.
Yes, from our side, we're clear.
Their schedule says the 27th
I thought I just read the 20th.
And that's for a Saturday.
on roof. Install.
That schedule does still say the 27th. The district was given the choice of the 20th or the 27th by Save More. Chose the 20th, and so that's what we're building to.
Okay.
Is there any concern with the current schedule as far as grant reimbursement and having our applications in, any of that?
No, I think we're okay. We're still in a good position. Geraldine, I actually sent Geraldine an email today. We finally got our first submission processed, and it's probably about time to do a second one. I think she agreed. And so
Yes.
we're in good shape.
Yeah.
And then a follow-up on that, if SES cannot do their air conditioning testing, I guess I'll call it, because the weather is too cold, does that have an effect on reimbursement and project closeout?
That's a good question.
That is actually a good question.
It's a good question because the SES contract is covered by the grant, and all the grant work needs to be done by the end of the calendar year. So we can do a couple of things. We can work with SES to bill in advance so that they do present a final invoice. The town is free to hold that invoice, but we would have it as part of a package of materials to submit for reimbursement. We'll have to look at that. Well, let me look into that. That's actually part of my job, is to figure out how the grant is going to be closed out. So let me work on that.
And speculating in a situation like that, would we just not be reimbursed for SES's portion of the contract, or would it be bigger?
No, not necessarily. I mean, go ahead, Geraldine. Did you want to say?
I was going to
something?
say, and not even just their contract, it would be whatever outstanding invoice the
Correct.
state decides not to process at the end of that work. So that's what we have them bill as much as they can up until the legitimate December 31st date. And then work with the town to figure out how to get the rest of that money in the right place,
It definitely wouldn't be, Geraldine's 100% right. It wouldn't be the whole contract.
Right.
But
right.
it would, if there was additional testing that was a small portion that was invoiced separately, that would be the worst case scenario. But I can't imagine we couldn't work with DAS to figure something out.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and also work with SES. I mean, they're used to doing this kind of work under these kind of grants. And, we'll figure out a way to make the paperwork match what we're requesting from the state for reimbursement.
Understood. Thank you.
And then I have a question of when Rick did send invoices, there was also a lien waiver, I think, that was sent as an attachment by somebody. Do we have to do something with that, or?
No, I saw that, but I did not open it. I would say no. That's a no.
So it can just get filed somewhere by somebody? Because you kind of have to keep those, we send it to finance. I don't really remember with the Johnson and Rockwell what we were supposed to do with them.
We hung on to them till the bitter end, and the final lien waiver is the one that ends up going with, like, to the state for the grant reimbursement. The final lien waiver is what's in the file going forward for the town. It's an acknowledgement that all the work was done and paid for. So I'm sure that the PSBC doesn't need to take any action on that with the invoices.
Yeah, I think you collected them all and they ended up in a box, and then we had to move all those boxes to the closet behind finance at some point.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yes, you did.
Yes, we did. And truck and all. Okay, well, if we don't have to do, I don't, just figured we wouldn't have to do anything. It just would need to stay filed somewhere and then deal with the final one. Okay.
Okay, so that, next point is the invoice review and approval. So did you take a look at any of the invoices that Rick submitted? Carolyn, did you,
Yes, and there's,
three of them?
yes. There were three. So Kohler Ronan, that is their typical construction administration invoice, looks in line with what they've been billing periodically to cover their responsibility for reviewing the project, reviewing the pay up. Same thing with SES. They're charging some minimal amount to continue to monitor. Let me see, where did I see that one? Yeah, to continue, to monitor the project, answer questions, do some things like that. So I would recommend approving both of those consultant invoices. And then again, this, in addition to that, the Save More invoice also seems to be in line with the work that has been completed through the end of August.
Right, because Polaroid signed it, so it must be.
Exactly.
Great.
Exactly. And and honestly, on that invoice, there was some discussion. They had originally billed a little bit too far ahead on roof work that hadn't been done. And that application for payment was revised and resubmitted based on Kohler Ronan's review and recommendation. So.
Okay, thanks for bringing that up, because I was gonna ask, are they really 50% at steel on the roof?
I can't say, but I know that was a big discussion last week before Rick left, between Rick and Craig. And since Kohler Ronan did sign off on the pay app, I think that they did bring it down in line with what the professionals felt was progress on the job.
Okay.
All right, so at that time, let me, I'll first make a motion for the Save More invoice for job number 240055-000, invoice number 17953, dated 8/25/25, in the amount of $404,557.50.
Oh, that's application number 8.
Yes, sorry, yes, rec number 8, yes. So I make a motion that we approve this invoice.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so passed. The next invoice from SES, invoice number 5448, dated 8/27/2025, for project 25-061, in the amount of $1,443.50. I make a motion that we approve this invoice.
Second.
Seconded. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so moved, so passed. And the last invoice that I have is from Kohler Ronan, invoice number 22021.02.01-11, dated August 31st, 2025, or PO number 20231-457, in the amount of $3,662.50. I make a motion that we accept this invoice. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Tom.
So the invoice has outstanding balance, basically the 3 invoices that we approved at the last meeting, 8, 9, and 10. So I told Roger he should make sure that he indicates that we only owe
The,
number 11, which is this invoice and that amount.
this is just a summary, I guess, prior
But
billing information.
But it's also outstanding because it says invoice amount and
Yeah.
received 0.
And, yeah,
So, and so I think we're kind of a month behind, so to speak, with Kohler Ronan. We approve it at our meeting, they send out the new invoice, but they haven't gotten a check yet. And it's kind of about when they send their checks out and also when finance does a check run. So if anybody was looking at that and saying, why do we owe all this? We
Yeah,
have,
but then- Right. It's like behind or anything. Okay, so I have a second, for this. And let's take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So passed. All right. So I think that's it for the HVAC, project. Any other questions for that we have?
and do you guys have anything else? Jen, Tyler, Geraldine, Dr. Carver?
And for the HVAC, okay.
You do not?
All right, so while everybody's on here, from the Board of Ed, so, in the old business, the last item was the school roof project, but we don't want to keep you on, longer than you have to be. So, that was.
Geraldine doesn't need to stay,
Yeah.
so thank you, Geraldine. It's
Thank you,
good to see you.
Geraldine.
Take
Take
care.
care. Thank you for your help. Okay, so, all right, so, we were assigned that last month. It was new business in our last meeting. For more information, we were gonna have a meeting. Dr. Carver and some of the Board of Ed set up a, folder on the shared folder. A file, I meant, on the shared folder. I finally got, I was just talking to Kathy now. I just happened to get that for some reason, on my tablet on Friday. We had a meeting today with Jennifer and Tyler, but I know that you added things to the shared folder. I don't even see it yet. So for some reason, I have it. I don't know if others, have a time delay on that, but I'm not seeing that yet. But thank you. We will see that soon. So today, in the early afternoon, Dave and I met with Jennifer and Tyler just to kind of go over, some of the, stuff going on. Dave knows that.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
it.
it's on the drive.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
it's on the drive, which I can't see yet, but that's okay. So we spoke about, what the project involves. They put a bid out in, I think, January, was that correct? They had to get responses back, in April, which they did. There are 5 firms, and don't forget, this is only for the architectural design and construction administration services. And the bid was for both, Berry School, elementary school, and for the high school. And right now, the urgency is more, or the focus is more towards the high school. So they only looked, so we only, spoke about the high school roof project. Dave and I reviewed some of the information. Dave, you may want
Yeah,
to.
we spoke with, Jen and Tyler and basically went over, what we've received so far. So right now we have the bids for the architectural, the design and, process and, for what we need for doing the actual work. There's 5 bids, and, I think our next step is to vote to see which firm we want to go with. There's one firm that the price is double. Well, not quite double, but almost double the amount. And it's a firm that we do have some history with, but, the numbers just don't line up. The other ones are all fairly within the same ballpark. And, we discussed possibly having a need to, do interviews with these firms. I personally, after our discussion, I don't see the point. They all met the bid requirements or what we put out for RFQ. So there's no issue with any of the companies, as far as being able to do the work, in my opinion. And Tyler and Jen, cut me off if you feel that I'm misspeaking based on what we said. So I think, these are 5 good firms that we can select. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to review their bid packages that each company sent. But yeah, I think at this point, it's just we need to review and make our selection. And from what I saw when I looked at this afternoon, I already have my opinion on what we should do, but I don't want to jump the gun if anybody else, requires more time or hasn't had a chance to look at it.
So I just, got that shared folder on Friday, like I said. And so I reviewed the bids very, fast per se. And I made some notes on it. Now, Tyler today said that he went through the bids, very thoroughly. And he made some comments and he put that on the shared folder. So there's a file from Tyler that made some good general comments, for each of the bids. All right, so I think we should take a look at that. If you have time to take a look at the actual bids themselves. And I think we should, then shelve it until the next meeting to make any other comments on this. But go ahead, Nancy, did you?
Well, I know so you said we had 5 responses to the RFP, because there was a cutoff date, right? They had to be in by a certain date. We're not expecting any more. So there's no reason to say, oh, well, we're gonna review some more bids. So we got the 5. And I think we talked about how some of them gave, like, I don't know if we call it a discount or whatever, if they got to do all 3 projects. But we're not gonna do all 3. Are we looking specific? What I'm remembering is we're looking specifically for the high school right now.
Correct.
The numbers we're looking at, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, are just the numbers that are on our spreadsheet. And
Just for
Tyler was nice enough to
Yeah.
download his spreadsheet where he's got some notes on the right-hand column. Those are pretty good. And it's the Barry, the Bethel High School base, and then the alternate, which includes the gym roof, which the gym roof wouldn't be eligible for reimbursement until, for full reimbursement.
2028, is that?
2028.
Yeah.
But as we discussed today, if you look at the timeline for how this project's gonna roll out, we should probably consider putting that in with, or having that alternate be done. Because by the time we get the study done, we get our plans, we get ready to put out, and then we go to bid out the work, we're gonna be pretty close to that 2028 date. And up to 2028, we can get reimbursed for like a percentage of the work. So it might not be the full if we get it all done in one shot, but we can get it reimbursed. So again, I think, and again, this is just me, I think having that alternate put in is kind of for me, it would probably be not a must, but we should definitely look at that, because to then have to start all over again because we missed it by a few months or even like half a year to start this process all over again to get another
include
roof
that,
done
right?
to me, it does not make any sense. And I feel like we'll end up losing money on the whole.
Right.
If we look at it as 2 separate projects.
And
And
while they're
again, Tyler
there,
and Jen, you guys have been dealing with this a lot. If you disagree with me, let us know.
No, can I just jump in? I do agree. And I think that, remember, this is just one step in a very long process.
Yeah, yeah.
So right now, we're just getting the design and the cost estimation. We have to make a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen. We have to get approval for finances just to do it. Then after that work is done, which I don't know in the bids how long that takes, then we have to go to the taxpayers, which, having done it, this is, I think, my 3rd time. I think, I might be retired by then. But there's going to be a time period where then we have to get the approval from the taxpayers, and then we have to apply for the grant. So I agree. That's a long way to say I agree, because it's
That makes
by the
Yeah.
time-
Makes complete sense.
yeah, by the time it's all said and done, it's going to be 2028.
right. And then
yeah, yeah.
if we're looking at just high school right now, when we have those costs, the base bid plus the alternate is the
The
gym
alternate is
part.
the gym.
The
That,
green
that-
part,
yeah,
yeah,
that's the,
yeah.
Yeah. And I think, in looking to approve the funding for this, it would go through, we'd have to go to the Board of Selectmen and then to the Board of Finance, and then probably a special town meeting to approve the amount, because the amounts, or we can't. Well,
It
we
would
can't-
require a special town meeting because the dollar amount's not that high. It-
right, over 50,000 might have to be approved by,
No, nope. So over 50,000 applies to going out to bid, which we did.
Yeah.
So that process has already been done. if we were actually engaging in a project that was, I think that threshold in Bethel is 1 million, right, Jen?
Well, for
Um,
random, yes.
Yes, that would require a public hearing, a town meeting, but for just recommending the design and the cost estimation, it definitely does not have to go to a town meeting, at all. It just has to go through the Board of Finance and their approval.
We'll see. So the design obviously has to be done first. We pick somebody, they get going on the design. And then once the design is done, a complete design, then we get professional, or who does the professional cost estimating? Do they have somebody that's gonna do that? They have their own?
That's correct. I believe that was part of the bid. Am I
Yeah.
wrong, Jen? Yeah,
Yeah, that's part of the bid, yes.
Yeah,
This is for design and cost.
correct,
Right?
correct.
and the cost would be what goes to referendum. Yep.
Correct. Although the design is potentially reimbursable by in the school construction process. So even though we're doing this now,
Yeah.
it can be, or at least, I mean, I can't speak for a couple years from now, but I mean, in the past, it has included any type of design work that you can apply for reimbursement on.
Okay. And so at what point would we want to, or do we want to have somebody like a possible owner's project manager, owner's rep be involved in the process?
I think
Or-
I think it's a decision that probably would come about after we get the design work done and the approval done, and then bring them in to the
Probably-
process.
Right, so at that time, that's when we would need to go out to bid
Correct.
to actually do all the work. So that's a good time to bring in an owner's rep.
Right, because that would have to be if the design work gets done and we have a cost estimate, we have to add that into that cost estimate to be part of that amount of money that we want to approve at referendum.
Correct, just like we did for the HVAC project and for the school projects. Yep.
Okay,
And as a side note, either Jennifer or Tyler mentioned out of the 5 bids, which came in April, there was an acceptance time limit for 2 of them, but I don't think it really matters, but that should be noted that 2 of them said that it had to be accepted within, I forget, a couple of months, was that?
One says May 25 and one says
Yeah.
August 25.
Yeah,
I don't
which
know.
have passed.
yeah, which have passed, but I'm sure if we do consider them, we would go back to them to extend that, so.
Yeah, I imagine that that's not a big deal, but
Right.
Right. Okay.
And the RFPs that went out didn't have anything to do with the middle school, right? It was just very, very alternate meeting, the gym high school gym, very.
correct. Yeah, I think that we did not include the middle school because I think I shared last time, the middle school has some bigger problems. And the conversation was that.
That might be a whole project, and the whole.
Yeah. I mean, we have big HVAC issues there. There's a variety of things. And so the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance, and we concur, the Board of Ed concurs that the question really with the middle school is, once you deal with all the big pieces that are wrong with it, is it more cost effective to just do some type of renovation where you get more reimbursement?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the conversation with the middle school. I think that's a whole separate discussion.
Okay. And I just thought of something else. What was it?
Has Melanie gone through the proposals or seen any of this?
Yeah, I was gonna ask about the insurance
This
stuff.
was done earlier,
Yeah,
right?
actually, that's not an issue. What Tyler and I worked very closely with Melanie, and we probably had at least 5 or 6 different drafts with all of her input, and we did get her final blessing to put out this RFP. So all the insurance requirements that she's looking for are already taken care of.
Good, okay, because I was gonna ask about the insurance.
Right.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
any further questions or anything?
So do you anticipate that you'll make a recommendation at the next meeting?
I think we should.
I do too. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
I think I think the only reason we're doing it tonight is because I don't think everybody has,
Gotcha.
got to really
Right.
look at
Seen
it.
it.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
plowing through and
Like I
it's,
said, I have my
they are
opinions.
like
with
this.
this.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
I
Yeah.
feel-
I think, so when you look at, bid proposals that go along with RFPs, yeah, they have to have all the different things that are, asked for in the RFP. Some of the stuff is, like in the first line or two, you see that they provided the information we asked for. The rest of it's a lot of blah, 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 they cut and
Boilerplate,
pasted
yeah.
in, boilerplate. But the specific stuff that they asked for, and if they, yeah, you look to see if they didn't provide either CHRO or some sort of, the insurance, all the different categories, and they didn't, they're out.
I believe everybody met
Yeah.
the specs on this
Yeah.
one.
So just because I set up the folder, is there specific people that didn't get access that I need to get access, or that you just got it delayed?
I just show you I have access. That's the
Yeah.
issue here.
Um,
I guess through all.
They have a new folder, Christine,
So-
that the town put up, so I don't think
Yeah,
there's.
no, I put it in there.
Yeah, so if you go to the shared drive, and then there's Johnson and Rockwell, there's the police station, there's
Yeah,
the
I literally did it the day after Kathy set it up.
one, which has a
Yeah.
whole bunch of subfolders in it, and it's in there.
Yeah. Jen, I thought I told you, I put all the bids, I moved everything over
Mm-hmm.
to that one.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. Yeah, I don't think there's an issue with the folder.
Oh,
That's
okay,
everything.
good,
Yeah.
good.
Just to make, I know that we're focusing on BHS on the high school, but we also want them to do the Berry, correct?
Well, I think the question is, and we have a meeting with Dan and Brad. We were supposed to have it last week, and we're trying to reschedule it. Because I think the issue is looking at the bigger picture in terms of how these projects fits in with larger town debt and the town's ability to manage them. And so I think that in talking to Dan, but it's a great question and we probably need to get more clarity on it. I think that he wanted us to focus just on the high school right now, which is the biggest problem, to be honest with you. Now, and it doesn't matter from a state grant perspective, because you can get reimbursed for them separately. Sometimes I know there's economies of scale, because that's why we did Johnson and Rockwell at the same time. So that's a factor too. And we can certainly chat with them. And we also talked with Nick Ellis from the Board of Finance too, gave him an overview. But I think it really is going to be a balancing act between how much debt the town wants to take on at any given point as other debt drops off. And so that's why I think they were specifically having us focus at the high school now.
Will we get something that says definitively we're just looking at the high school? Because everything we have has Berry on it. So can we just get maybe a definitive, this is just the high school?
I'll reconfirm it with him, but I believe that's what he wants us to do, is just the high school.
That would be good to know, because if we chose to do both schools, plus the high school alternate, meaning the gym, as just the design, and then cost estimate for the high school, because we don't want to cost estimate vary and then find out we can't do it for 4, 5, 6, whatever years. Would that help? Or would then the plans be, even the design might be antiquated and we have to redo it?
I don't know about the design. Tyler probably can answer that question better, but I think from a cost estimate, you're right. If you're talking about doing it long-term, it's not going to be the same amount. I guess the question really is, does the town even want to consider doing the design/cost estimation to see how much it would cost in total, to see if they could handle the debt? That's a great question. And I could certainly talk to them about that.
Because I'm
Yeah,
talking just the design.
the design should
Well,
be, there's not really an expiration on the design. The only thing we potentially could run into is if the project was so delayed that manufacturers stopped making the product we had picked,
Right.
our specs might fall out of the specs might no longer be valid, and that might need to be rewritten at some point. But the overall design, there really wouldn't be a need to redo that at any point, unless we had chose that we wanted a different aesthetic for the building or to change roof lines or something drastic.
And I didn't look closely at the budgets, but I know from past projects that the design is obviously the more expensive piece. And the cost estimation is a little piece of that. So,
Right.
you know, they may say, oh yeah, we want you to do it so we know, and then come back and have to just redo that small part of the cost estimation,
Yeah,
depending upon Tyler's comments about whether or not something's out of whatever, not exists anymore. But I'll confirm it with Dan tomorrow and send the committee an email. But that's what they were he was implying to me that we should really just focus on the high school at this point.
Because that'll take all those questions off the table. If they're just like, no,
Yeah.
high
Right.
school, if they
Yes.
give us that, edict, then you don't even have to worry about, oh, this doesn't even matter,
right.
Right.
But the design done for Barry, spending the money now, obviously would be less expensive than doing it in 3 or 4 years to spend to get money
Yeah.
to do the design. So it's done. But as Tyler said, maybe we have to spend a little extra to put different specs in about materials and whatever else.
You could make the recommendation like separately, like we recommend that you do the high school, both the components of it, the old part and the new part,
Yeah.
and Barry, and then let them decide whether or not they're going to fund all of it or they're just going to fund part of it. I mean, you can certainly make a recommendation either way.
Or we
Because
sort of-
the way the bid was structured, I think, Jen, it's in pieces, correct?
Yes, yes.
They're separate.
Yeah, so they could make, it's like a menu. They can pick what they want to do.
one from column A.
But aren't we dealing with this with the highway garage now? We've done like 3 different designs and
And it doesn't go
assessments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every 3 years.
Well, that's what I was saying, is if they tell us no, then I would say let's just focus on the high school, get that project done. Because all of a sudden the materials they spec'd out aren't in use. Now we need to go back and check, and then we're doing work twice. But that's why I would like just a definitive, if they're saying no, it's just high school, then that's all we're looking at. I just want it firm that that's what,
Yeah.
And you're being far anyway, so
Yeah.
once they,
I'm 99% sure that's all they're interested in right now, but I will confirm it.
Yeah, that would be good. It would be good to know, so
Yeah.
we don't spend a whole lot of time.
Yeah, so we don't
Yeah.
waste looking at it.
So I think we make sure that everybody reviews again, brings anything to the next meeting, and we get this solidified so that we can move on to the next step, which would be going to, who would go to the Board of Selectmen, you or us, or both, a combination?
I would think a combination, but we'll definitely be there.
Yeah, yep,
So is it now on us, or do we get any more input from?
we have to vote on it next.
Right.
Vote to see who
Yeah.
we recommend.
Right.
To do the design and cost.
But I think we have to write up, I think Jennifer made a point is, let's just say that we picked the lowest bidder, whatever it is. We have to justify that. Is that correct?
Not if it's. the
Jennifer?
lowest.
Not
No,
if
no,
it's the
it's the
lowest.
other way. If you do not pick the lowest bidder, then you need to say why you rejected the lowest bidder.
It's not.
Yeah. And Jen, if I'm not wrong, don't we have to go to the procurement committee at the same time?
Right, so a public site would make a recommendation to the procurement committee. And then eventually Board of Selectmen would make the award, and then Board of Finance would allocate funding.
Yeah. I forgot that one step is the
Yeah.
procurement committee.
but we can, at our next meeting, someone would make a motion saying blah, 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 whatever, and the amount back to the procurement committee and ask that the procurement committee send that on to the Board of Selectmen. The Board of Selectmen would then put us on the agenda for whatever their next meeting, let's say.
Hmm.
And some of us would be there, some of them would be there. We'd make the proposal or make the recommendation that we take from procurement. Here's the amount, this is why, et cetera. And then they go from there to finance. Sort of how it goes.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Yep, sounds good. All right,
Okay,
thank you so much.
Anything else? All right, thank you very much. So next meeting, we'll probably have some type of a final decision.
Yep. And if
Thank
there's
you.
anything else that you get, you can put it in the shared folder, right? Or if even if we
Yep.
put it together.
Good.
Thanks.
Thank you. Good
Thanks,
night.
Tyler.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a good night.
So then we should probably all read these pretty thoroughly.
Mhm.
Okay.
And Tyler.
I didn't
knows
know
that.
if there was
Tyler
like.
read all of them, start to finish, and if you go to that spreadsheet,
Yes,
all
notes
those are
on
right.
there.
I
yeah,
saw the notes.
There's
That,
notes,
that's where
yes.
I was like, is there
Yeah,
advisors to the advisors?
oh,
situation
yeah,
or-
I
Yeah.
mean, and then I went through to lowest,
Yeah, silver, right?
I went through silver, and I believe it was Hibbard.
So now that all the bids are in and there's no more coming and it's open,
Yeah.
can we,
Can you comment on the
yeah, we
companies or the amounts at this point?
comment on dollar amounts right now, or should we, would that be like an executive thing you were saying last time?
I don't think we have to because there's no other bids coming in, but, I don't know if we could.
Well, yeah, we want to read them through first and everything anyway,
Yeah,
right?
I
So
mean,
that could be,
Yes.
I know.
plus the other commission members, right?
Right, I currently-
Yeah.
Yeah, we have two people.
I've
missing.
Yeah,
I've glossed over them, so I have no,
Yeah,
I have no comment either way.
Yeah.
it really,
You
it
get-
really comes down to the two lowest.
Yeah,
If you go through it, it comes down to the two lowest.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
and you do get accustomed to, once you, like, if you look through the RFP, you get accustomed to which parts you have to really look at more closely. But you do, as I said, we have to make sure that they hit all of the, we've gotten bids where they give you no insurance information. It's like, all right, we asked for your insurance. Well, you didn't give it to us.
The
Sorry.
issue with, to your point with Melanie looking at it, that is the issue with the insurance, right? Is that, or is that only really for the project we're concerned about that?
No, it's basically, in the RFP, it'll say, give us this
Right.
insurance information or prove to us that you have this. And if they don't,
from what Jen kind of stated is that I think Melanie kind of already looked at it all.
Yeah.
She's been highly involved, and I think if there was gonna be an insurance issue,
Okay. they would-
Melanie would have
okay,
already
pointed it out.
told us by now.
Yeah.
Again, that's my
Yeah.
assumption from
Do
our
you know
meeting
if they
today.
sent out a sample contract in the RFP as well?
There is one in the drive,
Okay,
so,
okay, because I think that's where Melanie would also, where things
Yeah.
could be sticky
Yeah. so-
is,
yeah,
even if they met
sample
the
RFP,
requirements.
RFQ, there's
Okay.
one in the drive.
Yeah,
so-
it's a sample RFQ.
Okay. Because if they came back and same thing like we're dealing with at the garage, they say, hey, we have this insurance, but we don't really want to use it.
All right.
All right.
All right, so
and then we'll have to make
we have
sure
some
that,
homework, so if you
Okay.
can, we'll.
we'll have to make sure that an email goes out to Horvath and Olson, that they get it,
Right.
checking it out too, and are they gonna come to the next? I think Olson might be in Maine again.
Yeah, he is. He said that he couldn't make the meeting today, and he says, I'm on the way up to Maine. So,
And he doesn't always get internet coverage up there, so.
All right.
Good. Well, thanks for those who went, you went going to the meeting and,
yeah, no, so we
starting
got
to
some good
narrow stuff
information,
down,
and we
yeah.
know what the bids
Yeah.
are, and we just have to, kind of go over it. And
In the expiration dates, if that's what you're looking at, don't let that stop. I don't want to sway anybody's opinion on what they want to select or how they vote. Is those expiration dates are, basically from what Tyler and Jen said, if we reach out and we say that we're looking, most likely for what they bid, there's nothing that really shouldn't be affecting that cost. So they'll, it's probably a non-issue that they just bump those in. It's probably just boilerplate.
Yep.
That they have those set dates, that they
Yep.
send them out with
Yep.
that. So if we were to if there's somebody you really wanted, and it's the expired one, to reach out, we could get that date updated and resent out. So,
because if we're obviously getting
Yeah.
into this part
yeah,
within the next 6 months,
Yeah.
and they know that.
Yeah. so.
Yeah.
I just didn't want that to stop it because it got brought up twice and it wasn't clarified. So I don't want anybody reading.
Yeah,
it
that makes sense.
to
Yeah,
think that,
Yeah,
oh,
that's good.
well, let's not even look at this one.
because if
You
you're not
should
gonna
read
have
them all.
5 bids, you got
Yeah.
3 or
Right,
whatever.
right.
There's 2
Yep.
that ain't signed.
Okay.
And I would assume everybody has access to the shared plan group. All right, so,
With the way we set it up is everybody has access and everybody can add. So
And I just checked everything Tyler and Jen uploaded during our meeting is, at least I can see it. It's,
yeah, I don't
it's
have
in the
any,
drive.
but we can talk afterwards. I don't know.
What
I don't have any of that.
you do?
No,
no, we have
no, we just went through that. I have nothing they added stuff today and all I have is this. And so there was a delay. Remember I said Friday when I was talking to you and then I said, oh, well, all of a sudden it's there. So somehow it just kind of came in. So I'm going to try to speak with the IT maybe.
Did you try it on your phone? Can you access that on your phone or is it just?
Yeah, you know, I didn't put it on my phone yet.
Okay.
I'm just going to do that.
So no problem.
Yeah, see, I got it. I don't know what it is. Oh, okay, all right, so we'll go on. All right,
Shelter, right?
so the next one is the animal shelter. Let me just write this down. Yeah, isn't it crazy? I mean,
Yeah, nobody thinks you're.
No, there's nothing new,
I think you're
and
crazy.
Right,
the discussion that was going on in emails was more about the highway garage roof and the insurance and all that. There's
Right.
nothing new in the animal shelter.
so we'll just table that.
Okay.
I guess keep it on the agenda, but unless
Yeah.
something comes up.
Yeah,
And then, maybe the same thing, so we don't waste so much time here, for the community center locker room reservation, a restoration.
same.
Renovation, I'm sorry, same thing, there's nothing new. We're kind of just sitting there, idling, so, center. Okay. So the last one is even with the highway garage, I think we're still at an impasse, is that correct, with
So the,
insurance and
I thought that.
the money spent, right? We also, spoke with the controller, Tom did,
That's not gonna,
and,
there's no money.
and there's no money, so whatever that was allocated is frozen there.
It's essentially the same process that we have to go through this school route.
Correct,
Yeah.
right.
so, I think that last I remember from either Eric or John, I can't remember which, was we could, but probably wouldn't work. I think they were asking Melanie a couple more questions, but they said,
Today.
Oh, no.
we could just take the proposals and go to the board of selectmen and say, here they are. Melanie would probably suggest to the board of selectmen that they not accept them or sign them if they're not meeting the insurance requirements. And, those 3 templates that were sent, except I don't know if you can get them open. Where'd they go? So on last Friday, he sent an email addressed, actually, I mean, he said, hi, Tom, but the insurance templates and then there was some back and forth between him and our agent, Jason, who's been on a meeting. That's the guy I was thinking about. And then I just kind of don't.
I have
My
those
question
emails
is,
too, I
if you
say,
don't mind,
in the highway.
You might have,
What's that?
you might have an update from Eric by the end of the week.
Oh, okay, so
So-
he's, because I think,
Because they had a conversation yesterday with one of the vendors, I'll say, and I think you'll have an update, because I thought he was gonna send
Oh, here
it
they are.
tonight, so.
Okay.
I found the
You should have
attachments.
something
They're way
back.
at the bottom of this
Yeah,
email thread,
of the
so
email
yeah.
trail.
Yeah. Okay, because I know then the last I remember was Eric saying, what about this, this and this? So I wasn't sure if he was gonna come and bring us answers because we didn't get a chance to
I
ask
think
that,
he'll
but
talk to him
Yeah,
tomorrow.
just
but I
to
think he'll send you-
update the rest of the commission. Basically, I asked, why don't you go back to these engineers and architects and see what it would cost for them to have all these insurance requirements on their contract?
yeah, and it's
And he
not
said-
necessary, but,
Right, he said he's working on that
Yeah.
and maybe that we'll have an update on that.
okay.
Okay.
Otherwise, we have to go back out to other people and.
We'd
start
have
the
to-
process,
Yeah.
but Let's not. Yeah.
Could either put an RFP out or put some kind of bid proposal or request out. With that insurance information included as part of the request, so that people know that they have to have that.
Yeah, I didn't look through the template, so I don't know how
I-
different they are
Yeah.
compared to what was.
I was-
originally sent.
I was looking at,
So the ones for the high school, they would have already included that in there then, like.
oh, yes,
Because they
Yeah.
did that when they put the bid out. in January.
Yes.
I
They
didn't know,
went through all that.
yeah, I didn't know if that was in January still applicable. I thought it came up recently, but
But what they're also asking in the high school roof is design or assessment and design. We're only asking for assessment.
yeah, okay,
We're looking for design and cost.
yeah.
And the roofs,
For the-
yes.
for the roofs.
Yeah,
So
so
the highway
the
garage,
lining-
we're looking for.
So the
just an
assessment, like you
assessment,
said, maybe that's, yeah,
Because we can't get a design until we get an assessment.
The high school,
We're gonna get a cost analysis too, for what it's gonna cost, an estimate for what the cost
Right,
should be.
but
And
there-
then we put it out to bid
For the school roofs or,
for the school roof.
yes,
but
yes,
there's no assessment in those proposals?
Well, they have to do the assessment in order to do
the design.
to design.
Yeah,
They have
so
to
it's
go up
part
and
of it.
assess the roof, design whatever they feel is gonna be, and I think they have to give us 3 options.
Mhm.
So they have to give us like a rubber roof, an asphalt roof, whatever, they have to give us 3 options. And then the costs associated with doing it in those 3 formats. Now, again, that's not like, we're not gonna go out and bid it and say, you have to do it for this cost. You're gonna go out to roofing contractors and say, but this just gives us an idea
It's a budget.
for budgeting,
Yeah,
yeah.
what we're gonna do.
But yeah, for the town garage, we were only asking for an assessment.
For an assessment,
Right.
yeah.
Yes,
If we were, and I asked the other question to follow, if we get them to, or we waive their insurance right now, and then we ask them to do the design.
Yeah.
Can they meet the insurance requirements later, or are we just kicking the can down the road?
Yeah.
So I hoping we get answers on all
So
that.
what's in the assessment then? Are they just actually just saying the condition, like, yeah,
Conditions,
Yeah,
existing
I
conditions.
They're going to
think-
measure rafters and.
yeah.
I mean, the whole thing is that it's this proprietary system, right? That's what's jamming us all up, is that it's not, can't take this thing apart, you can't cut into it, you can't do anything. So it's the system that we chose to use is now,
So based on the assessment, then they're gonna say, here's, what and then the design will, those same companies.
How do we fix what's here?
Yeah, yeah,
without ripping it all out and just building it
yeah,
new. How do we fix what's here? Because the company isn't offering us any
yeah.
guidance.
Right, but it would be silly to get an assessment from one company now and then go get a design from a different company later.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why they should meet the requirements now, or we waive them and knowingly they'll meet the requirements later.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the highway director.
Yeah, and like you said, it sounds like Eric has some sort of update
Yeah.
based on this
I'll
company.
talk to him tomorrow about it, so.
Okay.
I just have a general question, maybe to Nancy. So, Save More and I guess Conan Road, so we set up equal payments every month to spread out over the project.
For Kohler Rona, not for Save.
Sorry. Correct.
Save More is all whatever's attached. That's what they've done so far. What's been delivered, materials, what work they've done. So they are gonna keep doing that through the whole thing.
Right.
Kohler Ronan, just because they said it was this amount for construction administration, they did the design for the redoing the whole HVAC system. And then it's happening in phases. They're calling this phase 3, I think. So we needed them to be on board to do construction administration to make sure they answered any RFIs or et cetera, et cetera. So instead of saying, they said it was gonna cost, I think 50,000 is what instead of saying, we'll bill this much this month, they just
Right.
divided it by however many months.
Months in, and that's the monthly billing.
Yeah, and so they may have done less work last month, more work next month. And
But it doesn't matter because we're just paying you.
yes,
payments.
yes.
But for somebody like Sabre, so how about, is there a performance incentive that we could add to these? As an example, Rick comes on, well, this is late now and this is, and well, they ran into this and now we gotta do that. How do we know that they're not shifting workers around or anything? So if they don't meet certain
They're only getting
goals
paid
or
for
anything,
completion.
Yeah,
So if they
and we
don't
pay
bring,
them less, so that, as an incentive for them to try to keep on schedule beyond, weather or emergencies, is there a way to put that into a contract like
I
that?
think the way it works is their incentive is, if the less people they bring to the site, the slower the work gets done, the less they get paid.
Mhm.
Because if they cut their workforce in half and they're only completing half the work, they have to show us the work that's being done and that's what they can bill for.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's beneficial for them to send more guys, get more of the work done, up that percentage. So they're really, I mean, yeah, it's frustrating us, but they're really shooting themselves in the foot too,
Right.
Well, it just depends what other projects they have going on, right? Like, you know,
I mean,
Aren't we in a little catch-22 with that in the sense that Rick didn't know 2 weeks ago that there was no steel on the roof and the project's getting pushed out.
well, that's a different, that's
So I don't,
not a contract thing. That's
but
our customer or our,
Well, the schedule.
right, but STV is gonna now bill more money to manage this through November.
That's possible.
Yeah.
That's possible.
So I
Because the bigger
I
thing with,
appreciate you asking that because I had the same thought, like,
Yeah,
well, I've
I've
been
seen
asking
that.
them
Yeah.
all along, STV. I'm seeing you get further along. We didn't get an invoice from them yet for this month or last month. We will probably for the next meeting.
but I mean.
But
I
I've
know-
been asking them, look, you're getting a little low on funds here. What's gonna happen? And they said it's possible that they'll issue a change order, but it might be a certain amount to get us through the end of the project. And, that would get shifted from contingency to their amount on the budget thing. And that's happened in projects before. Sometime now with construction manager at risk type of process, we've had like in the, with the police station, Downs Construction was the construction manager at risk. We didn't spend our whole contingency, so that became a kind of credit to the town, so to speak. They just didn't bill us for it. Wasn't a lot, but for a large project, it was a chunk. And we did have to spend some of it on some other things, well, fixing the walls, but that all got taken care of. And there was still credit, so to speak. Their agreement was that they not bill us for it. It would come back to the town. But it's not like we gave them a bag of cash and they gave us a bag back. It's just, they don't bill it for it. So not spending the contingency is a good thing, if we can.
And it's not apples and oranges, but as an example, when
It's
a
not.
bridge, collapses, all right, and they say, well, it's gonna take six months to get
yeah,
it going.
get it done in
All of a
3
sudden, it's done in 4 months because there was an incentive
Yeah.
and they worked whatever, and
Well, it's different. You-
then they give them
You
extra.
can put incentives in the
Yeah.
contracts.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can put,
I mean, in this case, you maybe you can't. but
not
I'm
like
just saying.
well,
delay.
you could put delayed fines in.
You can, but I know a lot of contractors are gonna look at those.
Well, the cost will go up, yeah.
Yeah, the cost is gonna go up significantly.
But I'm like coming in, well, I'm sure Roger has the same feeling because we're coming into this in the middle of the document, but to kind of see this thing now get thrown out 3 months in the last 2 meetings, not getting great news about
Right.
delays. It's like, well, we hired you to be the manager and it doesn't seem like it's being managed well.
I think that they're only off by, again, I briefly looked at that new schedule just now because I didn't even know they put it in there. But our original end date was October 18th, I think, for full,
Everything.
everybody moved out, and now it's November 17th for the full demobilization and everything.
I think it's November after, Thanksgiving, November 25th.
Was it, like I said, I
Yeah,
just skimmed
whatever.
over it. I thought,
Yeah.
But I mean, we're looking at like a month and change,
Right.
which, I mean, I'm actually shocked.
And I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, it has to be done by the end of the year anyway, to get their reimbursement.
Well, no,
Right.
we want it to be done.
And again, I do realize and I
And I think it's
remember,
December 15th, and then paperwork has to be, then you have those 2 weeks to do your paperwork.
21st, supposedly.
Oh, 11/21.
Yeah, 11/21.
and I am forgetting that we had that whole delay with the state, so.
Yeah. So I, like.
Yes,
And there was
Yeah.
also,
I
Yeah,
take,
yeah,
I
yeah.
take some of that back.
Yeah, some of the delays are outside of their control, yeah.
and one of the things that, is this an old one? Anyways,
Yeah, that's an old one.
That's an old one.
Did that
We want
panel ever come,
9-3.
the electrical panel that keeps getting?
Oh, I should have asked for an update on that, but I think she said there was not, right?
She said there was no update and that it should, that as of right now,
Supposed to ship.
they're saying that it's not gonna affect.
The deadline?
Right, they're gonna do
Deadline.
everything else, and then when the
Yeah.
panel comes in, then they're gonna
Yeah.
push it.
They pushed it out far enough.
Yeah.
So they will run the wires, they'll do everything when the panel comes in, then.
Yeah, the crane, the crane date helped that push that out a bit.
It might not be uploaded yet because
I was
it
just
was,
looking at it.
it was attached in an email. Is it in here?
It's in the
not the one.
shared,
Yeah.
VHS, and if you go to scheduled on mine, it's the first.
Are there any
one.
other items on there, Roger? I don't have it. from you.
Mm,
The agenda items. Yeah.
Oh.
And-
No, that's it, that's.
Yeah, it's dated for like last week.
Okay, so it's August or is it beginning of September?
I think it was 9/3. You want my-
It's not full. No, it's okay. It's, 8:13,
It'll be pretty helpful once, once he's back from vacation, whatever.
4:01.
The main guy.
Oh, right.
Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna have another.
You can
meeting,
really work them over.
before he gets back.
9/3/25.
21st, I think he should be back next
No,
year.
I don't see it. That's weird. Maybe it's,
And the next meeting is what, the 20, what is today?
Today's the 10th.
24th.
So you should be back for the next
24th,
meeting.
right.
We ready for a motion to,
don't run away yet, but we can
Yes,
do that.
fine.
I do have one question. I think I have someone that might be interested in joining the commission. If it's,
I think you have that.
Pretty
So-
first selected, right?
who would
You
I, who would I,
can pass that along to Dan
Dan Carter.
or to either the Republican Town Committee or the Democratic Town Committee, whichever.
Okay.
So,
Gotta flow through that.
Really,
kind of
Dan.
not.
I would go to
Look at
Dan.
Dan.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say, because
That's what I
they're the
would
ones that
do.
make the recommendations, but people, individuals can contact the Board of Selectmen and Dan and say, I'm interested in this commission, because he's put out a couple times in his Friday updates. We need people.
Okay.
So
For
I'm
you, I
curious.
went to Dan. I just went to Dan direct. I didn't go to the parties.
Okay.
I just emailed him and said,
There it is. I don't know why
Yeah,
it
I
wasn't
just
showing
went
up.
to
but
Now,
there it is.
just so part of the, chapter 20, it says, so many, years, this and that. Then there's temporary members.
Yes,
So you could, for a specific project,
yes.
that's how I
have a
got it.
temporary
Yeah.
person to serve X amount of time, well, until the project's done. But it says it has to go back and forth to the part, you can't have more than this.
That could have been done.
Well, that
Yeah,
party-
it's not the numbers, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to be careful,
Equal representation.
or if the person's independent, I'm just saying maybe that.
But
doesn't-
they would check that with the town clerk who keeps all that information.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Dan keeps track of it. He would know that,
yes,
Yeah, who is it? Beth? No,
Lisa.
Lisa is gonna let you know when you're commissioned, so.
yeah. So at the end of every year, Lisa sends out to the chair, here are people that, whose terms are up. And then she sends it also out to the town committees and to Dan, so that everybody's looking at that. So that you can get people in place, either get reappointed or get new people. So, yeah. So,
Yeah, that'd be great though. 'Cause
Okay,
Nancy, I think technically are you up as far as your?
No,
current
I'm-
term? Or-
my
or
term is
Dave
up,
Wilson?
but you serve until you're,
that's what it says, you serve until you're replaced.
Yeah.
It says that
so I'm just sticking around until that happens. So,
right. Okay, so with nothing else to be discussed tonight, do I have a motion to adjourn?
That's me, motion to adjourn.
Okay, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, have a nice,
so just.
no, hold it.
Stop recording.
Hold on, give me 1 second.